Hello everybody, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to tie the double badger, which is a very traditional fly from Derbyshire where I live. In the vise we've got a size 14 dry fly hook. This is very large for this fly. I'd suggest tying it 18s, 20s, 22s. The thread is purple, UTC 70, and there's a story about that for later. For the hackle we're using badger, hence the name. We use 2 badger hackles and we make a double badger. And the only other material is some peacock herl to make the body. Now I'm going to cast on my thread here. Legend has it, according to Peter Arfield of the Bakewell Fly Fishing Shop, that when this fly was first tied, it was done with the silk from a nun's nightie. Quite scandalous. So I've tied on my thread, I'm going to bring it back, and I'm just going to build up a little rugby ball shaped butt on the fly using that purple thread. Now I'm going to take my first hackle. I've stripped the barbs off one side, and we're going to tie that in just up against the butt. I'm using a saddle hackle here and it's quite a long one, so it's a little bit in the way there. And I'm just going to bring that butt end of the feather up and I'm going to snip off the excess. I don't want to build up too much bulk. The whole point of this fly is that it's quite light and rides nice and high on broken water, of which we have plenty in our upland streams in Derbyshire. So I'm going to build up a nice dense rear hackle. Tying this is very much like tying a Griffith's gnat or a bivisible or any other double-hackled fly, really. So I've built up the rear hackle there, and I'm going to tie off the hackle and come in and snip off the excess. Keep that handy because we'll be needing it again in a second. And I'm just going to tidy up the middle. Now I'm going to take 2 strands of peacock herl. Nice big bushy ones. I'm going to trim off the very brittle tips and then we're going to tie those in and carry them back to where we finished off with the hackle. This pattern works very nicely to represent midges, especially if there's something small and black and unidentifiable that's hatching. And sometimes just having a tiny little midge pattern like this right down in 20s, 22s, 24s doesn't really look like a fly, but it's suggestive enough that you can convince the trout. So I've twisted the pearls together and built up a little body in the middle of the fly. That just represents a mating ball of midges, I think. And we're going to come back in with the hackle and build up the second of our double badger hackles. Not very inventive with the names really, but we'll roll with it. Snipped off the end of the feather there so I don't crowd the eye. And we're just going to build up a little bit more. I want the front hackle to be slightly larger, slightly bushier than the rear hackle. Again, keeps it nice and floaty. So I'm going to tie off at the front, build up a little purple head, and then I'm going to come in with my whip finisher and we'll finish off. So give it a go. It's a really simple pattern, but it can be very, very effective for these small summer midge hatches. And that's the double badger.